Good morning, brothers and sisters. My name is Jason with the Ministry of Righteousness, and I'm excited to be back with you again this morning. Just wanted to talk to you guys about a couple of things today. I wanted to kind of rightly divide the difference between pride and humility in God's full sufficiency versus self-sufficiency. So let's get started. Oftentimes I've heard in, very many religious circles that it is, God resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. And often the picture of humility is a place of, emptying ourselves, right? Emptying ourselves of ourselves, which there's some truth to that. It could be dying to self, there's some truth in that as well. Or it's going low and trying to abase ourselves to become practically nothing, so we can be an empty vessel for God to fill us and for him to do his thing. And while that sounds noble, and while that sounds, like that would be a super spiritual thing to do, there's some truths that are true to that, but there's also some false realities that are built upon that. And I just would like to address those today. First and foremost, I hear often this place of dying to self. And while this sounds noble, and while this would be true for an unbeliever, if you're an unbeliever, then yes, you need to die. Because the reality is that we're born into Adam, but then when we are born again, we're taken out of Adam and we're placed into Christ. Our old self has died, and we've been raised to newness of life, endued with power from on high, and now we have everything that it is that we need for life and godliness through Jesus Christ. So, do we need to die to ourselves? Well, if you're still in Adam, yes. If not, the Bible actually says, count yourself to be dead to sin, but alive to God. And I would encourage you today that rather than trying to kill yourself, or trying to die to yourself, I would encourage you to actually count yourself alive to God. I mean, who would have thunk it? You know what I'm saying? We can count ourselves alive to God because his spirit lives inside of us. And so rather than going on this place of, I'm trying to go low, I'm trying to empty myself, I'm trying to do these things, let's partner together with Jesus and let him show us, let him teach us, let him show us what fully sufficient life is truly all about. Secondary to that, I would like to talk about just, humility from the aspect of trying to go super low, right? True humility isn't necessarily about going super low, although there's an aspect of that because we're submitting ourselves underneath the fully sufficient life of God. But really, true humility is us not depending upon ourselves. It's about us not looking to ourselves as the source of strength and to looking to the life that God has given us in Christ. And here's the cool thing about this. When we come into a place of relying upon someone else, guess what happens to the pride and the ego? Well, it's got to go because it has nothing to do with you anyways. It has nothing to do with me. We're actually receiving a free gift that God has given us on our behalf by grace through faith, not by works, lest anyone should boast. And so the cool thing about this is this isn't some place of like, look at what it is that I've done for God. Look at how holy I am for God. Look at how much I fast for God. Look at how much prayer time I spend with God and how strong I am. And look at you, like there must be something that's wrong with you because you're not doing what I do. Well, brothers and sisters, this is a false counterfeit reality that actually hinders people from being able to encounter the God of all creation and the God who loves us, the God who cares for us. And so I want to encourage you guys today. I had this really cool experience where it was just like, not experience, but just kind of a thought where it was like, I can't be that for someone else, right? As much as I wanted to, and there's been many times in life where it's like God's, you're put in a place of, leadership, you're put in a place where people are looking up to you, looking to you for spiritual insight, for spiritual wisdom and understanding and that sort of stuff. And all of a sudden, this place of pride comes in where it's like, I'm going to be able to help you in some way, shape, or form. When the reality is that the source is Jesus Christ, and the source is the life of Christ. And I cannot be that for you because I am not Jesus. So what we get to do together is we get to turn our eyes to the source. He's your source, he's my source, and we can trust him together, but I cannot be that for you. True humility is in this place of emptying ourselves from trying to take credit for what God's given to us as a free gift, and it's depending upon the free gift and upon God's unfailing love for each and every one of his children, relying upon him for wisdom, relying upon him for instruction, relying upon him for our source, as being our source, and letting him care for us. So it's like, you know what, God, you've promised that you're going to care for me, and so I'm going to let you. I'm going to let you care for me. I'm going to let you nourish me. I'm going to let you teach me. I'm going to let you show me great and awesome things that I do not know. I'm going to let you teach me how to be a good husband. I'm going to let you teach me how to be a good wife. I'm going to let you teach me how to be a good brother and a good sister. I'm going to let you teach me on how to be a good father and a good mother. And I'm going to stop depending upon my own resources, okay? I think the trap where the enemy gets us is that he traps us in this place of my resources and my ability through my experience. And that brings into the reality of, well, you know what? God may do it for everybody else, but he may not do it for me. So I'm going to trust in myself in this area to try to make it happen. And that is a very dangerous trap. And it's a trap of pride. And it alienates us from the life that God has given us. It's not that God is angry at us. It's that we're choosing self-sufficiency instead of God's full sufficiency. And self-sufficiency, brothers and sisters, will never measure up. It won't ever obtain to the life that it is that God has given us. And I want to give you an encouragement, okay? The life that God has given us is a free gift, and this life is in his Son. He who has the Son has the life. He who does not have the Son does not have the life. And so we get the privilege to be able to fall back in something that's been done for us on our behalf. And through that place of our union with God, we actually find that the brand new heart that he's given us is a perfect fit for a perfect God. He's given us the desires of our heart, and our desires are in alignment with his will and his plan and his purpose. No more striving, no more seeking to try to figure all of these things out. We're actually taking a journey from the head down to the heart, where we have a safe place that God's given us that's a constant because he dwells in our heart through faith. And so that's basically the gist of it. Just wanted to encourage you guys today, instead of going the route of I can and I'm going to try harder, let us submit ourselves to the fully sufficient life that God has given us in his Son. I guess the question would be today, is the life of Jesus enough? And if the life of Jesus is enough, what does that mean for us? Remember, brothers and sisters, God cares for you. And the gospel isn't what it is that we're doing for God, but the gospel is what God has done for us. God bless you guys, and have a wonderful week.